Oh, hey. How you doing? Mason the Brock Henderson here. Um, yeah. Um, just woke up from watching the Chelsea Porto game, and yeah, put me to sleep. Nice and boring, just like Tuchel apparently likes it, because we've gone right back to it. I mean, again, I don't know if I'm being tricked by some of these games where all of a sudden we look like we want to get forward, we look like we want to get down the field and create opportunities and look good on the attack, be aggressive in the attack. We have those games and it's like, no, just kidding. Early April Fool's joke. Here you go. This is what we actually want, right? We actually want slow possession based build up play that leads to giveaways in our backfield that leads to chances for the other team. That's what we want, right? After we just gave up 5 goals against lowly West Brom, doing the same exact thing in the weekend with Jorginho in the side again. That's the thing. Like, do I like the fact that we won 2-0? Absolutely. I'm ecstatic about it. The fact that we managed to win 2-0, despite the fact that Jorginho's in the team, is amazing. It's a miracle. But for Tuchel, I want to see more. I want to see changes. I want to see him go, okay, so Jorginho is not my answer there, and change something. I want to see him go, okay, so looking to go back and just keep possession isn't working, and change something. But he's not. He's not doing it. It sometimes seems like there's a change happening. It sometimes seems like, yeah, we want to get down the field, and then the next game, it's like, nope, back to boring. Back to slow possession build-up play again. And I mean, yeah, we did well. We played well today, but it still doesn't suit us. Like the way we're playing does not suit the players that we have, which is why all of these games, like we're not really blowing anybody out. We're not taking it to the other team. Most of the time, we give them a chance to take it to us for a good part of the game. And against West Brom, it led to a red card. Today, it led to a few chances for Porto. So it just depends on what the other team's doing that day and also what the referee is doing. So I don't understand what Tuchel's thinking is. I don't really get what he's trying to do because sometimes it seems like he's got it figured out and then sometimes it seems like he has no clue what he's doing. So yeah, let's talk about the lineup first of all. Obviously, Mendy and goal, no problems there. I do think he could have done more to help us in the West Brom game, but I also don't really blame him for any of the goals, so it's not really right to bench him because he, let 5 in, because none of them were really his fault. Because we brought him in to be better than Kepa, I felt like there were some of those that were a little Kepa-ish, but I'm not going to bench him because of that. But then your back three, he goes with Christensen, which, I mean... I don't know. Watching Christensen in the weekend, not really confident putting him in, if I'm being honest. Azpilicueta, I mean, he's a given, and then Rudiger over Zuma, just changing it up a little bit, see what Rudiger can do, because Zuma didn't have a good game. So I don't really have a huge issue with the back three. I'm not a big fan of Christensen, though. I don't know. He's done okay before the West Brom game. Like, he's looked decent. But that West Brom game just brought back those flashes of watching him at the end of last season. And how many times he just would give away these chances and just lose track of his runners time and time again. He just has this ability to do so easily and make it look like it's always been a part of his game to just lose track of his man. And then the wing backs, you got James on the right and then Chilwell on the left. A little disappointed not to see Hudson-Odoi at right wing back because James was awful on the weekend. And obviously Alonso was too, so you give Chilwell a chance, but then you don't give Hudson-Odoi a chance. I was a little confused by that. Because I really do think, I mean, Hudson-Odoi has shown some good stuff at right wing back, so I don't know why we're not giving him a chance today, especially since James didn't do much of anything in the weekend. And then, of course, the big one, Jorginho and Kovacic, and the middle again. And, yeah, I mean, it's just a dumb decision. You've got Conte back. You can put Mount back there. You can even throw Christensen in as a defensive mid. He's played there before. So you could do that and probably have a better option there. There's no reason why Jorginho should still be playing. Like, there's no reason Jorginho should still be on the field. And he didn't do... I'm just going to go ahead and give you a spoiler for later in the review when I talk about him. He didn't do anything today to change my mind. So why is he still out there? So then you go to the front three, and this is another huge mistake in my opinion. You move Timo out wide. he's never shown anything when he's out there. And he's in a bad run of form right now. We know this. So why are you putting him in a position that he's already shown throughout the season he can't play there? That's not his position. He's not good when he's there. At least when he's up top, that's his natural position. So he's used to making the runs in behind. He can create a few things. But when he's out wide, he has to go back and receive. And his touch right now is terrible. So now we're trying to build the play through him. Ball comes in, touches 5 yards away, and now the play's dead. So I really don't understand that decision. I guess the idea was Havertz was kind of the target man in the middle, and then Werner and Mount are running off of him. But if you're going to do that, then put Giroud in, because Giroud's a better target man than Havertz is. So I really don't know what his thinking was with those two. I feel like it's much better if you have Havertz and Mount playing in behind Werner. So now they're dropping deep to receive and create, instead of Havertz stuck up top where he's not at his best, and then Werner stuck out wide where he's not at his best. Just weird decisions today from Tuchel, and thankfully they didn't cost us. But it definitely created a lot of a lot of problems in the first half. Like, that's why the first half was so much Porto's game, because I just feel like Tuchel set us up not to succeed, and that's weird from a coaching standpoint. Then his subs, I didn't really have a problem with most of them, except for Conte on for Mount. The fact that Jorginho played the full 90 boggled my mind. And again, obviously I'm spoiling a little bit when I go into individual ratings, but I mean, my God, what did he do today to convince Tuchel to say, you deserve to play the full 90? You deserve to be out here. You deserve to be helping us in the midfield, or helping Porto in the midfield. You deserve to do that for 90 minutes. Go on. It's like every manager that's come in, Sarri started it. He brought Jorginho in. Jorginho was his guy. And he sucked. And Sarri was just like, no. He's my number one guy. And he sucked. And then Lampard came in, and he gave him a chance. And he played him for a little bit. He looked good, but then he faded away. But Lampard kept picking him anyway, and he sucked. And now Tuchel's come in, and he's picked him. He's had a few good games. He's had a run of decent games, and now he's fading away. And Tuchel's like, no, but he's my guy, and he sucks. So I just don't understand, like, why. It would be very easy to go back and just watch his performances, watch how he fades after that initial burst of energy from a new coach. He fades, and he becomes a liability in the midfield. It's so easy to see. I've been seeing it for a while now, and we just never do anything about it. We keep picking him. We keep letting him go out there. We keep letting him assist the other team. We keep letting him just screw us over in the midfield. We keep letting him take 500 touches before he passes the ball. And it's frustrating to watch. Like, even at the end of the game, whenever we don't really need to be playing quickly, but we at least need to keep the ball moving because Porto's putting high pressure on. So we don't have to move it down the field as much, which means his style, which he normally does, would actually be okay in that situation, because he doesn't look to go down the field. He looks to go backwards. But when you're just trying to keep possession because you're 2 goals up, I don't mind having him out there. But even then, the ball comes in and it's touch right under his feet. Now he's got to take a touch to get it out from his feet. Now the pressure's on. He's got to take a touch to get away from that. It's all just too slow and too many touches. And I'm already going into his individual rating. I know I shouldn't. But I just don't get it. I still do not get it at all. Anyways, individual ratings. So Mendy obviously didn't have a whole lot to do, but he looked more alive tonight than he did against West Brom. Like, against West Brom, he just kind of looked like he was very stagnant, didn't look ready to react. Tonight, he looked a lot more ready. The only real couple chances that he had, like, he was onto it. There was the one that bent right around the post. You could see he would have gotten there if it was on target. So, overall, decent performance from him, but I still want to see more. I still want to see him contributing in the big games whenever we're, looking to try to keep hold of that 1-goal advantage, and then that brilliant shot comes in. He's got to make that save. I don't see enough of that from him. It's happened a couple times, but not really enough to say we've got our world-class keeper. He's made the good saves so far, but not the world-class saves. In the back three, Spilicueta, solid today. He got moved out to the right wing back at one point. And I will say, obviously I wanted to see Hudson-Odoi out wide a bit more, because I feel like he's a player that can drive down that line and provide that width for us that a wing back should be providing. But watching Spilicueta there, not too bad. Like, he at least showed some energy. He showed some knowledge on what runs to be making, because you could see he's like creeping in behind, like ready to go if they're ready to send him. But of course, where he falls in that position is in the final third. Like, his crosses aren't the best. Sometimes his shots are okay, but between him and James and him and Hudson-Odoi, like, that's where they're gonna easily handle that position, and he struggles most of the time with it. But when he was playing in the center, the front, the center three in defense, he looked solid. He looked a lot better than he did against West Brom, more aware of everything going on and ready to react. So that was good to see. Christensen, not bad from him today. I still saw some moments though, and I don't know if that's because I'm being more critical of him now after the West Brom defeat, but I'm just watching, and there are times again where he's stepping out, and now that's left a gap in behind him that somebody's now running into, and Rudiger and Spilicueta are most of the time alive to it, but you're supposed to be the one that's kind of holding that position, unless you're not. Like, if that's his role is to step out and do that, then that would be fine, but it doesn't seem like that's the case, especially when you watch the West Brom game. It didn't seem like he was supposed to be stepping out, because it just kept leaving that hole in the midfield or in the middle of the field, and nobody's crunching in to close that. So whether it was their fault or whether it was his fault, I'm not entirely sure. But seeing how many times it had happened again today, I'm starting to feel like he's not really supposed to be stepping out as much as he is. If he can win the ball, that's fine, obviously, step out. But there are times when he steps out and he's not winning the ball. He's just pulling himself out of position. And it causes issues for the two behind him. And then Rudiger played okay, but had a lot of his crazy moments tonight as well. It was very all over the place. There were times when he'd make a great challenge. I'm like, yes, thank you, Rudiger. But then there were times when he'd just be flying into a challenge or flying over and getting beat because he goes running past the guy. He just has that kind of side to him where he can do something that's a little bit crazy and kind of like, okay, calm down. Like, you're doing a little too much right now. And that side was a bit more on show tonight than I think I've seen under Tuchel so far. So hopefully he can calm that down a little bit. But as far as his defensive play, I thought he looked good. The wingbacks, James still didn't show me anything. He looks slow right now. He looks like he's got weights on his ankles, because there are several times ball gets played in behind. I'm thinking, all right, get onto it, James. Nope. He's not ready for it, and then when he tries to run for it, it's just like a light jog almost for him. And I know he can run faster because I've seen him run faster. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he just seems like he's at 50% at the moment. And we need more than that, which again makes you wonder, why not Hudson-Odoi tonight? But maybe we'll see Hudson-Odoi in the weekend. And then Chilwell obviously got that nice goal and didn't do too much on the attack. He had a couple of good runs. Didn't show me much, though, that made me go, yes, he's locked down the position. The goal was nice, but I think what really solidified his performance, for me at least, was the defensive work rate. There are several times whenever he's working back and he's cutting off crosses, he's there to kind of clean up the play. He did that a lot tonight, and I feel like that's something that, while it's not really what we brought him in for, it is part of the game for him, and it's something that we do need him to do, because Alonso doesn't really do it as much. And it doesn't always hurt us, because sometimes just being out there and putting pressure on the cross is enough to put them off. But whenever you got a defender that can actually get out there and block the cross and make sure it doesn't even get in, that's even better. And I feel like he did that a lot better tonight than I've seen in the past few games he's played. Into the midfield, talk about Jorginho real quick. Again, it's just too slow. A lot of our play, whenever we are in possession, it feels like once it goes to him, that's when things really start to slow down a lot. And it's just, we don't need that in the midfield. We don't need a player who's going to just keep possession. Like, we need somebody in there that's going to do something with that possession. We need somebody in there who's going to work hard, who's going to keep the ball. If you're going to keep possession quickly. Move the ball quickly. 1-2, touch, gone. But that's not Jorginho's game. And it's just frustrating to watch, because there's so many times whenever we've got a chance to possibly break out, all he's got to do is just have a little look over his shoulder, and then he's just got to turn and whip it in behind. We know he can do it. He's done it before. But he doesn't. because he's too busy taking a touch, and then he's got to look around. Okay, pressure's on. I got to look, and then easy pass right behind me. And that's just all he does over and over and over again. And sometimes those passes are the ones we saw against West Brom. So he didn't give any away that bad tonight, but he still gave it away too many times. He still had too many moments where we're in the final third and he is involved in there, and then his passing is either too slow and then has to go all the way back, or it's a giveaway and it's just a waste of time. And then also defensively is something that I've addressed several times, but he's just too slow. Like way, way too slow. The one corner that we had where the ball gets headed away and it comes right to him, and then it's a one-on-one now with Kovacic because essentially Jorginho's just not there. Anytime that the ball comes out to Jorginho and somebody's running on it, it might as well just go ahead and say it. It's a one-on-one chance with Kovacic behind him now. So I don't know. I feel like I do complain about him a lot, and I'm not trying to like single him out purposefully. He just does it so easily. Like he makes himself an easy target to say he's a problem player. We need to get him off the field. I don't know. If I see him again on the weekend, I'm gonna have to write a strongly worded letter to Tuchel and say, hey, buddy, we got a problem. Kovacic had another solid game. I think it's whenever we're playing well, I feel like Kovacic's hard work goes a little bit more unnoticed. And there were times when I could see he's still doing what he always does. He's still providing that just comfortability on the ball. But I do think his performances are a little bit underrated whenever the rest of the team is playing well. So in the West Brom game where everybody was playing like crap, Kovacic suddenly looks like the best player in the world. And it's what he does just so consistently. He's always good at keeping possession. The ball retention skills are fantastic. Turning under pressure is amazing. So he does it so well, so fluidly, and hardly ever gives us any problems. And love to see it. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't play him, So yeah, good from him. The front three, obviously talked a little bit about Werner already. I don't think he was helped to being out wide, but yeah, his touch today was terrible. And it has been pretty off over the past few games. And I talked about it a little bit. I do feel like Lowe's comments about him were unjustified, were not fair, and they're not good just because they drop his morale even worse. And he's already got low morale. He's already a striker that's not in good form, and that doesn't help him at all. But I feel like criticizing his touch, that's something he should be working on. That's something that, if his finishing goes away, that I can understand, because whenever strikers are a little bit nervous and they're not in good form and they're self-conscious, strikers tend to really put their foot through it, and then the technique's all wrong. They're not really focusing on putting that technique correctly. So I understand whenever the shooting goes away, but whenever your touch goes away, that means there's a deeper problem there. Like if your touch isn't working for you, if your touch is 5 yards away, that's not good enough. And that's something that should never change. So, yeah, just not a good performance from him again. And honestly, if I were Tuchel, I'd give him a bit of a break. He's been under the limelight so much recently, and the more you play him, the more he's under the limelight. And the longer he goes without scoring, the more pressure gets put on him. I would just give him a break. Give him a chance to step away from the limelight a little bit and just be like, all right, look, you're working hard, I can see that, but right now we got to just get you back in good form. We just got to build up that confidence a little bit. And you going out there and not being able to score, it just puts more pressure on you. So work hard in training. We'll get you your sub minutes. We'll give you some time in sub minutes. Is sub minutes the right word? I don't even know. I'm a little tired, in case you couldn't tell. Like stumbling over my words a lot today. I'm not hungover or drunk though. I don't think. Maybe it really did put me to sleep watching the game. But, just give him some time off the bench. Give him a chance to show what he can do in those minutes, so that way the confidence slowly comes back. And then eventually you start him, and he's at the best of his game, and we're getting exactly what we expected from him. So Havertz, I thought, played decently enough. Didn't really do anything spectacular, though. But he worked hard, and I liked what I saw from him. I just want to see a bit more, I guess, dropping deep to receive it, but I don't think that was his role today. So I feel like that's why we didn't see a whole lot of that, but I think that's what he does very well. So, again, I feel like Tuchel kind of handicapped him in this game because of it. And then, of course, Mount, probably our best starting player, in my opinion. And yeah, he does what he always does. He's hardworking. He looks to get on the ball. He's very clever. I mean, the turn was fantastic, and then the finish was nice as well. So yeah, brilliant game from him. I wanted to see a little bit more in the second half from him. I'm a little frustrated that he was one of the subs, but in the first half he was definitely our most influential player going forward. But that's not really saying a lot when you look at Havertz and Werner. So there's that. But as far as the subs that came on, so Giroud and Pulisic came on. Giroud looked a little off, and he's not really been playing a whole lot lately, so maybe that's why he's not really playing at his best. But yeah, I just felt like he wasn't really getting involved as much as I'm used to seeing him get involved. So I was a little disappointed with that. Pulisic had a couple good moments. He looks like he's not quite at the top of his game, but he is still getting there, and he actually is improving. It's not like he's stagnated and he's just like not doing well and he's struggling to get minutes and he's struggling to get his good touches in. Like, he is doing well. It's just not the same level that we've seen him play before, so I feel like he's still got some room to grow. But today was another good step in the right direction, I think. Then Conte and Silva came on, both of them solid. I mean, Conte was a little bit further up the field than we're used to seeing him because Tuchel's an idiot. But aside from that, I mean, both of them looked solid enough. They worked hard. They kept a clean sheet for us, and yeah, that's about all I can say for them. And then Emerson was a last-minute sub just to waste some time. But, I mean, 2-0 win in the first leg, and it's technically, even though both games are going to be played at a neutral stadium, this is technically our away game. So that is good to get the 2 goals on the road. I do kind of wish, I don't know, like, I wish they could have done something different for this. Like, I know they're struggling with all the different bans and stuff like that from traveling. Like, I get that there is struggle in that, but the fact that both the away and home legs are going to be played at the same stadium, it's kind of like, well, how can you say that this one's the away leg and this one's the home leg? Like, it makes sense normally because you play the away leg and you play your home leg, and if you score more away goals, then it makes sense because you scored away from your home, and so yeah, you got the advantage away. Like, it makes sense. But here it's like you're both playing in a neutral stadium. Away goals doesn't even really matter, does it? Like, neither of you are in a home stadium, so neither of you get that home field advantage, which means if you're scoring in the away leg, it's not as impressive as when you actually score at another team's home stadium. Like, I don't know. It's just everything in the world is dumb right now, so I shouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I mean, 2 goals in the away leg it's already good on its own, even if you don't win 2-0. But the fact that we kept a clean sheet as well, it definitely gives us good momentum going into the second leg, and it gives us a good bit of confidence as well. But again, the play and the decisions from Tuchel are very concerning because, I mean, you could have easily another West Brom result on a different day. Some of these chances that Porto were creating, if we have a different ref, some of these flops that Porto were doing today, the ref might have given it on a different day. If you had a different VAR, that's an idiot. I mean, he could give those penalties, and suddenly now it's 2-2. Like, they're never penalties, but some refs could give them. And we're creating these opportunities for them to do that because Tuchel set us up in a poor way, and we're not really playing aggressive attacking football. We're keeping it too much in our defensive third. So, I don't know. It's frustrating. It really, really is frustrating to see all of this, and for some reason there's no change, and it's still the same. And I mean, it's like I said at the beginning of Tuchel's career here, like, very much the same as what we saw under Lampard. A lot of the issues I had under Lampard are the exact same. So what are we changing? What are we doing different? But anyways, with all that being said, that's it for me. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on the game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.